In case you missed it, here's Dave and Cheryl's favorite moments of the week.
This is a wild story. Police are often, you're trying to track down people speeding, right? You're setting up speed traps, you're getting these things done. But then you see a guy with a home speeding. He had a house that he was pulling and speeding.
So this happened in Missouri. This guy was caught speeding while hauling the house. So he was driving a truck with a 70-foot-long trailer-style house in tow. So not just like a recreational vehicle, like one of those actual homes that are like the size of a trailer. Police tried to pull him over, but he wouldn't stop. So, of course, that led to a police chase where, he's hauling a house the whole time.
They even tried to use stop sticks. That's where they put those metal spikes down.
Yep.
Tried to stop the guy. That didn't work. Eventually ended when the guy drove off the road. So he was arrested. It's unclear why the guy was speeding with a house. And this happened on Thanksgiving, which makes it even a little stranger. One of the sergeants from that police department talked about it and gave a little color commentary, too.
So we chased this truck down the road. He was going about 30 miles an hour. He was hauling his big old house. Looks like he was going to live in it. He was traveling all over the roadway. Thought he might have been drunk. We came up on him. We chased him real fast down the road. And then we took him to jail, like Excelsior does. Woo-wee.
Happy Thanksgiving.
So was the house stolen? Was he on a deadline? Was he trying to get home for Thanksgiving dinner after dropping this off?
Well, they suspected the driver was drunk when they saw the house flying down the road, but...
okay, so he had a few pops and then decided it'd be a great idea. Let's move the house now.
Again, they suspect that, so they haven't 100% confirmed that as the case. But you get into a high-speed chase while hauling a house just seems odd.
And now it's time for...
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's random.
Is that a fact?
4 random facts.
The last verified person to have been born in the 1800s died in 2017 at the age of 117, a woman from Italy. Her mother and sisters were also blessed with long lives, but when asked about the secret to their longevity, her name's Emma said she ate 3 eggs a day, 2 raw, 1 cooked, and that she liked pasta, mincemeat, chocolate, cookies, and the occasional homemade brandy. And above all, she thought positively about the future.
No, all about positive mindset, I think.
And a little bit of brandy.
Hey, do you know the term midlife crisis was coined by a Canadian psychoanalyst back in 1965? So that means the term midlife crisis is now 58 years old and is having its own midlife crisis.
The term is going to go out and get a sports car and a younger girlfriend. Do you know Simon Says has different names in many other countries? Like Jacques Says in France. I might have to look that one up again, make sure that's true. Teacher Says in China, and the King Commands in Norway.
Well, if the king commands it...
You better be doing it.
Versus Simon. Who's Simon?
Who's Simon? Who is
Why
this
is
guy?
he in charge? Who put him in charge? And finally, when Levi's first started selling jeans back in the 1870s, they actually called them waist overalls. Because they were...
That makes sense,
Well, they
right?
were overalls, but they stopped at your waist.
It really does make sense. You think about it. Yeah, okay. It's your 4 random facts.
Today's
1, 2,
4.
So random.
random.
Give the public the facts.
4 random facts.
Yum. Science.
It's not rocket science. Check it out. I blinded us with science.
All right, here's one for all my bald brothers out there. Researchers have found that injections of fat into the scalp could help prevent balding. You'll truly be called a fathead after that. The treatment was shown to help men with alopecia and an autoimmune condition. However, researchers think the injections have the potential to help those suffering from male pattern baldness, and they think that the fat treatment can help control damaging inflammation. About half of men experience hair loss before they turn 50.
Hey, a study of people with arthritis found that doing squats could help older adults avoid knee replacement surgeries. Researchers and experts found that strong quads help to reduce the risk of needing surgery. So apparently stronger muscles could help reduce stress on the joint and improve stability.
Makes sense.
So squats and lunges really strengthen your quads without the use of any equipment, so you can just do body weight. I mean, just do like 10 a day and you'll be good to go.
And go slow, because if you've already got knee issues,
yeah,
that can be tough.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with like holding on to like a door frame or something to give yourself stability when you're first starting out too.
Dogs have been getting sick with a respiratory illness. Now, that could be the result of a new type of bacterial infection. Researchers took samples from 70 infected dogs and discovered previously unknown bacteria. Although the disease resembles kennel cough, the bacterium is smaller and harder to treat, and smaller pathogens can get into the deep parts of the lungs easier. So there's 12 different U.S. states that have reported this illness so far. People can protect their dogs by, maybe avoiding contact with other dogs for a bit, and that could also involve maybe not putting them in a kennel this holiday season, depending upon where you are. Obviously, ask your vet here locally if there's anything going around.
Yeah, a better option is getting someone to house or dog sit for you. And finally, if you're someone that suffers from panic attacks, this might be a new trick for you to try. This woman on TikTok went viral after she shared a video of herself eating a piece of Warhead's candy to help stop her panic attack.
My therapist told me to eat a Warhead whenever I'm feeling a panic attack coming on. And when I say I've never had anything rip me out of the throes of a panic attack faster, I mean it.
Oh my god, I'm so glad this video popped up in my feed because I thought I was the only therapist that was recommending this to clients. Here is why the infamous Warhead treatment actually is legit and works. Your brain can only handle one emergency at a time. So if you give your brain a new emergency to worry about, then it has to focus on that instead of the thing that you're panicking about. So believe it or not, intense temperatures or sour or spicy foods will give you a new emergency and therefore let go of that anxious panic thought that you're having. Here's your excuse to go buy a bunch of fireballs, Warheads, super strong mints, whatever you need to get through your day and decrease those panic attacks instantly.
So the Warhead creates sort of like a new emergency, not anything life-threatening, but something else that your mind and your body has to focus on instead of whatever it is you're worried about. So
Sour Patch Kids, I'm sure would work the same. You pop a few of those. Interesting. So if you know somebody that suffers from panic attacks, pass along that information. Well, before you start rocking around that Christmas tree, give it a good shake first.
We had a story a little bit earlier this morning about a woman who had hundreds of praying mantises in her house after a bunch of their eggs hatched in her Christmas tree and took over.
Then someone else had a little baby owl in their Christmas tree.
And it's not unusual to find some creepy crawlers in your Christmas tree. Mites, aphids, bark beetles, moths, spiders, weevils can all, hang out in evergreen trees. But it's a bigger issue if they lay eggs and then multiply. So we got a couple tips if you're planning on getting a fresh Christmas tree this year.
So inspect the tree with a flashlight before you buy it. Look for any little white specks or anything that might look like an egg. If there's a big thing that looks like a small pine cone, that could be a praying mantis egg sac with up to 200 babies inside.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not fun.
No, thank you.
Also make sure that the tree is shaken really well. A lot of places where you go and cut down Christmas trees, they have those mechanical tree shakers. And just shake it as hard as you can if they don't have one of those. It also helps to remove dead needles, which of course can be fire hazards.
Inspect it again when you get home before you bring it in. Check one more time to make sure the, shaking didn't kind of stir things up and there's things running around in there.
Yeah, and they say even if you cut down a tree yourself, it's even more likely to find bugs than if you get one from a Christmas tree farm. I know we have a number of them around here in Chatham, Kent. And finally, if you do see some bugs once you get the tree up and home and decorated, don't panic and don't squish them. That could actually release more bugs and more eggs. So they say just vacuum them up. That's the best thing to do.
I remember one time when we moved years ago, there was one section of the basement was unfinished, and the previous owners had left a couple of boxes there. I was like, oh, okay, well, they're kind of in the corner. And I went to move the boxes. Thank God I had shoes on, because two of the biggest spiders I've ever seen come flying out from underneath that box. So your first reaction is to stomp it.
Yep.
Right? Well, guess what happened in this case? I stomped. All these little baby spiders started running out from underneath said spider. So suddenly I was doing like a clog dance all over the place on the basement floor. I like to wash Ziploc bags. Am I cheap? So this came up in discussion because we went away on the weekend, had to go to Toronto, and I made some sandwiches in advance.
Yeah.
Right? Just to save some money. We didn't want to be too long in the stops, the en routes and whatnot.
Yeah, like the frugal dad that you are.
So put them in the Ziploc bags. We got back. To me, the Ziploc bags were still pretty clean. And there was 4 of them. That's a waste of money to me to just throw them in the garbage. So I throw a little bit of soap in there, and I'm washing them out, and they're drying, and then they're sitting on the counter drying on a tea towel. And my wife's like, really? We could just go to the dollar store and buy more. But then that's the key. Buy more.
So I'll ask you this. Are we talking like the thin little sandwich bags, or are we talking like the good Ziploc, like freezer bags? Like that are thicker.
More freezer-esque. They're definitely Ziplocs.
Yeah.
Not the fold-over ones.
They're name brands. Are they name brand or are they no name? Like
it might be Ziploc
off-brand.
spelled with 2 Z's and 2 L's. I don't know. But it's not those like sandwich bags where you flip the top over and they're the little thin stuff.
No, but I'm talking about like, there's the ones where you feel it. It's very thin. But then there's the ones that are good for freezing, and it's like a thicker plastic.
You could probably use them for freezing. To me, if they're not goopy, they should be rewashed. My other half does not necessarily agree with that. So that became a point of discussion.
So I am on your side, Dave. I wash out Ziploc bags too. And I actually watched a video the other day from, it came up in my Instagram feed, from one of these like food places with like all these experts, like chefs and stuff. And they said, yes, you can wash out your Ziplocs a couple times and reuse them as long as you don't have like raw chicken or meat in it.
Right, exactly.
If there's raw chicken in it, just chuck them out. You're done.
I mean, and if it's goopy inside just from whatever food was in there, but they were not. So
no, they said to wash it
just
out, to put it up so that it air dries and you're good to go.
That's what I was thinking. So where are you with this? Are you with me or not? You can text us 519-351-6300. I mean, it's not like I reuse like plastic wrap or tin foil. I know some people do that.
Yeah.
They take the tin foil and they'll fold it up all into 100 little pieces. And I'm like, no, tin foil, I'm not. I don't know why that's the dividing line, tin foil and Ziploc bags. But it just feels to me like a waste if I'm taking that Ziploc bag. Now think about all the plastic bags you threw out over the years and how much you'd like to have those back now.
Yep. Well, are they coming back? I thought I saw somewhere the other day.
saw
Someone
that
said they were
too.
getting them back.
I thought I saw that too because of that court ruling.
They overturned it.
That said the government overreached. Shock. On that with the plastic bag. Yeah, so that made me wonder about that too. I mean, most of us, you take the plastic bags, you shove them under the sink.
Yeah.
And you'd keep them
But
forever.
they come in handy when, like, say I'm coming over to your place to hang out with you and your wife, and I got to say we're going to do Christmas baking. I've done that before with your wife. And I got to bring over some ingredients. Throw them in the plastic bag. Then I don't have to worry about leaving a good reusable bag behind. Because you don't need another reusable bag. You've got 27,000 of them.
And some of them are really good. And you want them back.
Yes,
my sister-in-law jacked one of them one time. Oh. And then we were at her house for something. We were checking on her dog, I think it was. And I was like, I'm going to look for that bag. I found it under the sink and I took it back. What? It's my good bag. It was a good canvas bag.
I have a bunch of canvas ones. Those are my favorite because they wash up great. You can throw them in the wash and then, they're nice and clean.
You wash them?
The canvas ones, yeah.
No, I never thought of that.
Oh, yeah.
But where are you with this? So text 519-351-6300. What do you think? Am I cheap? Because I like to rewash Ziploc bags.
You're cost conscious.
So a few weeks ago, I was on location in Blenheim for their downtown sales and tax-free weekend. That kind of thing.
Yeah. They do that every year. It's always fantastic.
And when I was there thinking about it, I was thinking, Blenheim would be the perfect location for a Hallmark movie.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Downtown Blenheim, when you think about it, and just the way it's laid out, and they always wrap the poles and little lights and all that kind of stuff, and they get right into the holiday spirit, as so many communities do across Chatham-Kent. But when I think about a Hallmark movie specifically, for some reason I picture Blenheim.
Well, I think just because their downtown is so you have that sort of a couple block radius there, and there's stuff in every single storefront. And everything's packed, it's all sort of condensed in that one little area. So I think that kind of makes it the perfect little spot for something like that.
Right? So, I mean, you could see a local artist from Blenheim. He's a woodworker, perhaps, and his ex-girlfriend, who's now a big city lawyer.
She's in Toronto, yeah.
Right, and she comes back to Blenheim for the holidays, and there's a big storm, like the one we had last year.
Yep.
She gets stuck, and then romance blossoms in downtown Blenheim.
I feel like you could almost trap them out in Erio, right? Because you only have the one road in and out.
Great spot. That'd be another good one, too. Well, we're talking about Hallmark movies because we've got several Hallmark stories this morning.
This person on TikTok has gone viral because he put together a parody of some of the terrible dialogue that he's picked out of Hallmark Christmas movies.
What brings you by?
I was wondering if you two were coming to the Green Pine Grove Town Square Christmas Eve Festival of Lights Christmas Tree Decorating Contest Finalist Gala tonight.
Hey, I just wanted to know if you were coming to the Twinkle Twinkle Jingle Jangle Merry Christmas Snowflake Winter Pine Cone Fuzzy Mitten Decorating Dance Dance Revolution Hash Slinging Mash Flinging Crash Thinging Cook-Off Stocking Stuffer Naughty Santa Wet T-Shirt Contest Charity Fundraiser for Orphans and Single Tax Evaders Pre-Diabetic Sweet Ugly Sweater Eggnog Sipping Soiree tonight?
You came to find out, though, that actual dialogue, the first part of it, was a joke.
Yeah, so one of the actresses in the movie, I think, responded to his video and told him, or stitched the video and said, this was actually a huge joke. The writers did it on purpose, and they made sure that every single actor in the movie had to say the line at least once for that event.
Meanwhile, United Airlines has released a cheesy Hallmark-style Christmas rom-com on their YouTube page called Love in Plain Sight.
Oh, and I can't wait for my parents to ask me why I'm still single. I don't know, maybe because I'm an astronomer? We have weird hours. Maybe I just need to say, my life partner is the sky. Is that what you asked?
I asked if you were checking that.
Oh, yeah. Now what?
At your security, to your gate.
That's it?
Thanks for choosing United.
So it's only about 6 minutes long, but it features all those movie cliches you could hope for in a Hallmark film.
Oh, I love it. And finally, a comedian by the name of Nicole did a parody of every Hallmark Christmas movie, and she calls it Christmas at Mom's.
Another Christmas alone, I guess. Whoa, I'm so sorry. I'm so clumsy.
You smell like my mom.
Me? I've never even had a boyfriend, and I'm 30.
Wow, you're old, like my mom.
I've just never met someone that makes me feel so warm. And I was in jail for a small amount of time.
Like my mom.
I would really love to meet her.
You would love her.
Go to your family Christmas? Yes.
My mom is the best at Christmas.
I'm gonna call my family and tell them I'm doing Christmas with you this year.
And my awesome mom.
There's something you should know. My dad is Santa.
I believe you.
Isn't that fantastic?
Oh, gosh.
And I will not ever say anything bad about anyone that loves Hallmark movies, because if that's something you love, go for it.
I love throwing them on while decorating for Christmas or, cleaning, doing stuff around the house. Because
or taking a nap.
Yeah, because you can come back in and it's a different Hallmark movie, but you don't even realize it for 20 minutes.
You've been listening to Dave and Cheryl's favorite moments of the week.